Alright, yeah, you read the goddamn title right. All conspiracies are stupid. Yes, even that one you think is plausible. Whether you think the Earth is flat, or climate change isn't real, or 9/11 was an inside job, or the pyramids were built by aliens and/or Atlanteans, or that the COVID vaccine had mind-controlled chips in it, or the weather is caused by Jewish space lasers, or your mother actually loved your repugnant visage as a child, all of them, they're all bullshit, and I can prove it mathematically.
Bruh.
And conspiracy theories and the people that continually prop them up are the reason I contemplate flinging myself into an active volcano on a daily basis. When I say all conspiracies are bullshit, I'm not specifically talking about conspiracies, to be honest. I'm more talking about a broader mindset that's been sprawling further and further over society in recent years, like a fat Catholic priest in a dorm filled with mortified choir boys. Anti-intellectualism really is getting worse, and contrary to people who say, oh, it's just my opinion, it doesn't affect anyone else, I think this is one of the most serious existential threats to human civilization. This mode of thought is to the human mind what AIDS was to Freddie Mercury's immune system.
Look at it this way. Think of how stupid the average person is, and then realize half of them are stupider than that.
I swear to God, the average person apparently seems to think that doing science is just where everyone puts on lab coats and stands around congratulating each other for using long words. Listen, my beef with conspiracy theories is not about the actual beliefs themselves. I don't actually care if you think Obama dumped a bunch of fluoride into the Colorado River and that's why you keep getting romantic feelings for your leathery-handed Turkish barber. I don't specifically care about your individual nonsense. What I care about is the broken mindset that made your disaster of an outlook on life possible in the first place. Conspiracies have this find the conclusion first and work backwards to find the evidence mentality, which is precisely the opposite of how this needs to work, of how anything needs to work. The way you find out if something is true is via the scientific method. That means you begin by having a hypothesis. You know, it's an idea. It doesn't have to be true. It may or may not be true, but it's just an idea, like you don't know if it's true or not. It's a hypothesis. And then you research it, you do the work that you need to do to get the findings, and then you come to some conclusion, and then let some people peer review it to make sure you weren't just high on your own farts the entire time. In contrast, conspiracies try to look sciencey by using science words without using any of the scientific method, which is the whole reason why science works in the first place. Now, of course, I think this only fools morons, which is why I'm cordially inviting any of you who may just be beginning to gently dip your little piggies into this to fucking stop! Now, excuse me while I convince my elderly relatives to heal their violent chest pains with crystals and essential oils instead of going to the actual hospital. Remember, kids, if Grandpa can't feel his left arm, that means it can't be hurting, and therefore everything's fine, don't worry about it. Listen, if you care about the truth, if you're a genuinely truth-seeking human being, please, just shut the hell up for a second and think about what we're actually talking about. It's not impossible that one of these goofy theories can end up being right sooner or later. Hey, maybe one or two of them already is. That's fine. But the problem is, if you're a conspiracy person who just believes all of them, and if you do ever end up being right about anything, it will be entirely by accident. You are as likely to get the answer right as if you were guessing, which is what you're actually doing if you think about it, you big, daft, insufferable twat. You literally just pick a thing to believe and then infinitely generate excuses to keep believing it without actually making any effort to verify the thing. A lot of you fucking goobers will say religion's a bunch of obvious nonsense and then proceed to argue using the exact same flawed logic that religion has used for centuries.
That's my view.
Yeah.
That archaeology has been much too rigid, and that there's a climate of fear in archaeology.
Listen, man, the second you make science the enemy, you have lost track of truth-seeking completely. I do assume you intend to arrive at the truth eventually, unless you really are just doing fan fiction, in which case could you make me one of the lizard people, because that'd be sick. If you think the scientific consensus is wrong about something, that's fine. Make sure you're actually informed, and by informed I mean you can actually read a scientific paper in the relevant subject and know what all the words mean, because if not you should probably shut the fuck up, but assuming you can do that, fine. Take an opposing stance. That's what science wants. Don't just bitch about how science is mean. Oh, boo-hoo, why won't everyone congratulate me for being an opinionated contrarian? Maybe I should just be happy the conspiratards aren't engaging with actual science. This way no one has to wipe shit stains off the test tubes.
And if you look at death,
It started to go up
here's
again.
one. Well, right here, the United States is lowest in numerous categories. We're lower than the world.
Lower than
We're
the
lower
world?
than
What does that mean?
Europe.
In what?
Look.
In what?
Take a look.
This stuff has been building ever since people started unironically referring to themselves as flat earthers, and the rest of humanity didn't immediately respond by strapping them to the exterior of a Falcon 9 so they could take a good look for themselves. So I'll bring it to this place. Listen, I enjoy, politics and debates and shit for the fun factor, but I don't take too much of it very serious because half of it is culture war bullshit that doesn't even matter to the people who think it matters, and almost all the rest of it matters to someone but still doesn't even matter to me. Politics is basically just philosophy for the masses, and the masses mostly mass the ability to fuck things up and make a big mess. However, I can't help but notice we have gone ahead and penciled in another term with Trump goateeing all of us. Listen, I'm making no statement on the guy. Maybe I love him, maybe I hate him. He's got some nice titties for an 80-year-old, I'll give him that. Love him or hate him, wank him or spank him, the world is committed to this path based on the US elections, which come down to a handful of swing states, which themselves come down to their least committed people, and I have a feeling those particular types of people might be susceptible to jumping on conspiracy nonsense, although I am just making that up, so maybe that's just me. Given that, at this point, the future of the human species is basically guaranteed to either be a star-spanning empire or a radioactive hole in the ground, I kind of feel like we should cut the conspiracy crap, yeah? Like maybe bring the level of autism for ancient alien moon hoax, QAnon, interdimensional space pedophiles down a couple of notches. It was funny when there was only 6 billion of us, but after we hit 8, I started to worry that maybe every individual person just making up their own fucking headcanon for reality might, have some consequences. Anyway, I suppose I should wrap this up and feed those starving orphans in my basement. I'm kidding, by the way. I don't have a basement. Anyway, like and subscribe if you want, or don't. I don't care. See you sometime before the sun goes supernova and kills us all. Alright, bye.